So hey, hello all, welcome to Sam's Books Review, and today I'm gonna review the book named A Crown of Swords. This is the seventh book of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, and I'm really very excited to share my thoughts. So let's get into the overview of this book. This incident took place after the battle does happened place in Dumaisville. Here, Rand and Perrin does heads off to Carhain, and they want the city to be back under their control. And Murghese has been under the control of the White Cloaks, and in Abu Dar, Matt, Elaine, and Nynaeve sets off to find the bowl of winds which can able to turn the weather. And Egwene does heads on to the White Tower to bring down Eleda and rise herself as an Amiral seat out there. Mogdin has been escaped at the last part of the Lord of Chaos book, and she's been under the Dark Lord submission. So the overall experience for me, it's pretty bad. I haven't experienced any book worse than this. There is literally nothing to pinpoint for me and say I love this moment. It is totally far more horrible than I do have expected. Let me elaborate that on spoiler-free section. So let's get into the spoiler-free review. So everyone does say the slog does started in the Wheel of Time series right there in this book, and I'm really very much agree upon that. Um, it is damn true. I can't able to love any incidents in this book. It does feel like there is nothing happened at all. Probably I do have lost my sanity in this book. This experience does happen to me once before in the Fires of Heaven, but I can able to retain my patience somehow in that book. The first 200 pages and the last 200 pages is pretty good in that book, but here total book is a shit. I can't able to retain my patience and pay attention to the plot anymore. The first 200 pages on every Wheel of Time books does have a compelling and a creepy plot, but here we can't find that. The series does take a massive dip out here. The only thing does happen in this book is they can able to get the bowl of wins by the end of this book. That is pretty good, but that doesn't even have any compelling plot to deal with. Initially I do thought I do have a higher expectation of this book because I do have the habit of looking out what are all the characters are there in this book and how many chapters they have. And I do see Matt does have 9 chapters in this book, and I'm really pumped up because after Dragon Reborn book, I haven't never seen him out in a while. So this is a good point for him to understand him pretty well and can able to love him more. But this 9 chapters it does nothing to his character is somewhat really downgraded from that spot, I think so. And the book just ended up in a much more horrible way. There is no plot being built upon that specific event, but it just took place, and everything has been happened in a hurry at last. This does have an 700 pages, right? They can able to develop this plot here, but they didn't done that, and finally everything does happen place in a much more faster way. So I have never experienced a writer who is much worse than Robert Jordan, to be honest. This is somewhat a really very hot take, but yeah, this is what in my heart right now. So yeah, let us discuss about the plot in the spoiler filled review. So let's get into that section. So the series just started off where Rand does feel bad about the wise one who has been lost their lives in the Battle of the Dumaisville. There is nothing wrong in that actually, but caring only about the wise ones is somewhat very awkward for me. You can't be able to defend Rand here because he's been a king of the whole map right now. By this point in this book, he just controls literally every part. He's somewhat a king, right? He's not a shepherd boy yet. So I didn't expect that the characters like this to be brought in from Rand, but yeah, that is what in this here in this book. And the problems in Carhain is not at all a compelling one, and Rand does agrees to the sword fight. Um, all this plot doesn't make any sense at all, and at last he does decided to take down Samuel and Alien. This is a 700-page book, man. uh, they didn't even try to introduce that plot except the last chapter, um, which is much more worse than I do have expected, guys. And he does kill Samuel by the end of this book. I don't know for sure, but yes, it things like that. And it does made me to question why all these incidents doesn't happened before, because he can able to bring down Samuel with that ease. Why haven't he done that before? You can't defend Robert Jordan in this plot at all. And the only time I do paid a little more attention in this book is when Matt does recognizes a dark friend who tried to kill Rand when they heads off to Camlin Bay in the eye of the world. Even I am thrilled to can able to remember the plot somewhat. Matt does have the dagger and put her in her throat, and she does threatens her. But that plot also after some time just got dipped, and his relationship with Teslin, the Queen of Ebudar, is not at all an enjoyable one, and she it does make his character even more cheap. It's really very awkward to see Matt in this condition after loved him so much in the Dragon Recon book. I don't know why people do love him, Matt, a lot more than other characters in the series, but yeah, he's really very horrible in this book. Up this point, I can't able to rank Matt in the top five characters in this Wheel of Time series right now. And some couple of things being introduced out in this book, the kin and the sea folk. Yes, this is they are cool concepts, but they can be introduced in a much more interesting way, which Robert Jordan failed to do that actually. And at last, Lan and Nynaeve does get off together. They do marry according to the C4 customs. I can't really get the relationship in this book at all. Even I do mention the Eye of the World review itself. I can't be able to understand what really happened between them to love each other. Without any plot, they are loving. It doesn't taken place in the POV characters, right? So it really felt awkward for me. I do really expected Mogdin to be there in the last battle that took place in the Ebudar. But yeah, that is a disappointment. But when Matt does fights of Golem with the Fox the Medallion, that is really very cool. Robert Jordan does trying to give his best to feel Matt really somewhat useful in the series. I think so. But yeah, the Golem concept is somewhat really very interesting. Matt does got a need to deal with them in the future events. I think so. And the Sianchan riding creatures, it is somewhat like a dragons, right? I can't able to visualize the things. They are not being described too well now. But yeah, it does feel like that. And Morgase has been under the control of Sianchan army. I'm really very looking forward into Morgis plot. And Egwene is been now under the control of Halima. She is one of the Dark Front, and I don't know what is going to happen to her in the future events of this book. But yes, I'm really very much looking forward into it. I haven't talked about it very much in this review because there is nothing to talk about. Um, After Shadow Rising, I do have a lot of hope for Perrin, but yes, he doesn't have anything to deal with this in this book. His character is just somewhat slipping further back from book to book. So yeah, I do wish Robert Jordan to write this character in much more good way in the future events. So yeah, we get into the final section of this video, and the rating I would give 1 out of 5. I haven't experienced anything much worse than this. I do have heard a lot of people does say that this is the best among the worst books in the Wheel of Time series. I'm really very much scared to look forward into it. What is going to happen in the Path of Daggers? I can't be able to retain my patience here after. Maybe I need to discontinue this series right now and to try some of the other cool stuffs. Okay, I don't know whether I can be able to try this book in the future or not. I feel really very tired about this book. right now. So yeah, that's all for it. You can check my previous video right down here, and do comment down your thoughts on this book and my video right down in the comment section. So that's all. Tata, bye bye. I will see you next in some other book reviews, not in Wheel of Time.